Grab a beer and pull up a chair. Welcome to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. This is Mike, the Northwoods Beer Guy, and we are back in the studio. And once again, I'm here with Jim.
Hello, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
I am surviving in this cold, miserable winter.
I was going to say it took a turn a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think I like it.
I know. I think we got spoiled on some of those nice days we had there.
Yes, we did. And it's funny because a gentleman that I worked with before, he always was saying, we're going to have to pay for this weather.
Right.
And I was hoping he was just lying, but I don't think he was.
The longer you think you got a nice day, it's going to come back and be twice as cold for twice as long.
Exactly. And that sucks.
Yeah, looking through the window and watching the snow come down is not that much fun.
No, exactly.
Unless
yes.
So you're drinking some good craft beer.
Yes. That'll help take your mind off of it.
A little bit.
Well, Jim, welcome to season 3.
Oh,
this is our first episode in the studio because remember last week we were in Winona.
That's
so
right. Yep.
We were going to start our barrel aged January with the first one in January. Unfortunately, that changed a little bit, but we're back on schedule.
Well, I think it was a good trip. I think unexpected, kind of impromptu trip.
Yes, exactly. And it was good. I mean, the beers were not bad. I thought there's some of them that were pretty decent. And it still was interesting. I'd like to know more of the backstory on did they get bought out or what, the actual situation was.
Yep.
We didn't have that info. But yeah, the beers were all different than the last time we were there, and they were decent.
Right. And unfortunately, they didn't have any barrel-aged beer. Did they have a dark beer? I don't think they had maybe that red Irish red or something, but they didn't have a porter or a stout or a barrel aged anything.
Yeah, remember they had the Oktoberfest was the second darkest one, and then they had that what was that one? They had one that was a little darker, but that was it. I mean, the rest of them were all.
So this should be for us getting back into our lane. Something we're familiar with.
Yes, and it's going to be interesting.
So, can you explain? Because I'm not quite sure what's going to happen today.
So, we decided, again, that we're doing, barrel-aged beers, starting them in January here, and going to do a number of them. But I got to looking, and I was like, okay, what do we want to do for the first episode? Who do we go with? You know what I mean? Because you've got a huge number of them. I've got a whole bunch of them. It's like, okay, what do we do? Well, then we got to looking, and I had bought a 4-pack when I was in the cities. It was all four.
Surly?
No, not Surly, but this was from Dangerous Man Brewing.
Dangerous Man.
In Maple Lake, is it?
Yeah, you're a dangerous man?
You could be if you drink them all, I think.
All right.
But
that's scary.
And it's like a variety pack, 4 different beers, and they're all barrel aged, different barrels.
Different barrels.
So that's what's kind of intriguing. But then it was like, okay,
so this is not like the Shiner Bock.
I hope not. I cannot confirm nor deny because I haven't had these.
All right, but it is a variety pack.
It's a variety pack
and different flavors.
They're different flavors.
Okay, that's good.
They're all 10.8% ABV.
Double digits. So very
first can right out of the chute is double digits.
So you get kicked right in the knee.
Yeah, or wherever.
And they look like small cans too, right?
Yes, small pint cans, 16 ounces.
Wow.
Which again, we don't have to initially drink them all, but we'll see how good they are because it'll be interesting. But when I looked at that, I was like, well, 4 isn't really enough.
Right, for a whole episode.
Well, then I got to looking and I had bought 3 cans of the Three Sheeps Wolf. Now, the one thing that all 7 of these have in common is they're all Russian Imperial Stouts.
Nice.
They're all double-digit ABVs.
And they're all barrel-aged.
They're all barrel-aged. And the Wolf ones are higher yet in ABV. And so I thought, okay, now we're
talking.
We're talking.
We're cooking one's oil now.
Exactly. And I think what we could do, what I think we should do is we'll start with the Dangerous Man because we'll go in order of the ABV, just like we have in the past.
Yep.
And we'll kind of compare those, and then we can get kind of an idea how their barrel aging program is, and then we'll go to the Three Sheeps next.
All right.
And then we can kind of compare the 2 companies after that.
Sweet. That's all.
Should
we have one to get started?
Yeah, let's.
And then maybe if you're good to me, I might even have a surprise for you at the end.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so
that means you got to answer all the questions.
Oh no.
That I found.
That's not going to be good. Do I have to get them all right or just answer them? Because if I can just answer them, then we're golden. If I have to get them right, we could be in trouble.
We'll see. How's that?
Okay.
I'm going to keep you in suspense.
All right. Not a problem. All right. Well, let's start off. So the first can we have here, this is their Russell's Reserve Rye Whiskey Barrel.
Yes.
And let's see. This limited release is a bold and unapologetically dark Russian Imperial Stout aged 8 months in Russell's Reserve Rye Whiskey Barrels. Each sip unravels a rich tapestry of roasted malt and bittersweet dark chocolate woven with notes of coffee, oak, smoky bourbon. The barrel aging imparts a spicy complexity, balancing hints of vanilla, pepper, and tobacco with a surprising whisper of pear drops. What is pear drops?
Pear drop?
I don't know. Decadent, yet dangerously drinkable at 10.8%, this stout is a testament to patience, precision, and the beauty of brewing artistry.
Wow.
So this is kind of like our friend always says that our beers taste like coffee and cigarettes. So if it's coffee and tobacco,
yeah,
I'm wondering.
Have we ever had a beer that has had tobacco in it?
I don't know for sure. I think we've had some where they've said like has hints of tobacco, but I don't know for sure. And like with this one, I don't know if they actually have that in there or if it's just you're getting that.
They're just going to
flavor.
wave it over the top?
Correct.
Wow.
All right, well, let's see how this is. Like I said, I have been to Dangerous Man Brewing. Susie and I had went a few years ago, and it's a neat little brewery. It's got a really nice tap room.
Tap room's nice.
The kind of the weird thing, and I think I mentioned this to you, Jim, is right across the street is a church.
Oh.
So we were going to the brewery as people were coming out of church. So
Nice.
It was a little weird. I'm not going to lie. I felt a little bit bad. So, this smells like a bourbon barrel aged beer.
There's some strength in that's aroma.
And this is Russell's Reserve. Have you ever had Russell's?
I have not.
And
I'm not a big rye whiskey guy.
Okay.
I think you like rye whiskey. I'm not.
Some of them aren't, but I haven't had all that many of them, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've had Bullet and stuff like that, but I've never had a Russell's.
What's intriguing to me is all the different flavors that you mentioned there. I mean, that is a lot of flavors. And once I take this first sip, I'm going to be interested to see how all of that meshes together.
One thing I would say, because while you were talking, I did take an initial sip. I think it needs to warm up just a little bit because it's the cans are still a little cool from being in the fridge, and then when being cold outside, they didn't have a chance to really warm up any. So it might be one of those where we go through, and then we could always go back and just take another sip if we wanted to, but we'll figure that out.
I kind of taste the bittersweet chocolate, dark chocolate.
Yeah,
to me, that's kind of the main flavor. I don't taste the vanilla. I mean, I don't have any burn.
I don't have
like a pepper burn or a bourbon burn.
I can taste kind of the spicy of the bourbon.
Okay,
a little bit. I don't know what
it's not overpowering.
No. And I don't understand what pear drops are. P-E-A-R, pear drops. I don't know what that is. Whatever it is, I don't think I'm getting it.
When it says a surprising whisper of how do you
whisper?
How do you whisper a drop?
A pear drop. I don't know. That I am not sure.
I mean, the taste is not bad. It's just not.
No.
None of these flavors really, other than the chocolate, really stick out.
Right. You're right, though. I agree 100%. I definitely taste the dark chocolate. Kind of that bitterness of the dark chocolate.
Right, and it's not the chocolate that's really sweet. It's not a sweet chocolate.
No, it's dark chocolate,
right. So it's not like they're trying to cover up the bourbon, with sugar or sweetness.
Yeah.
It's
not bad.
It's
not bad. I do wish that you could get more of some of these flavors, especially the bourbon.
Yeah, for sure.
But then the vanilla, I think, would be interesting with the pepper. And that's like, is it supposed to be a spicy pepper? They didn't say it says pepper. So I don't know if it's black pepper or whatever.
Red pepper, yellow pepper, orange.
I'm just not really picking up that. I do, like you said, though, I do get the dark chocolate for sure.
Yeah. So we should probably remind the listeners. So how many beers have you rated?
You
got a good number now?
Now I am, yes. Let me look it up here because it was, before we were I was just under 5,400. Now it's 5,413.
So you cracked the 5,400 mark.
I cracked the 5,400, and these four for sure I've never had. Okay. And the Wolf being their 2024, we haven't had those, so that'll add to it. And then whatever your surprise perhaps may or may not be, I don't know. We'll go from there.
So since it's your new year, let's have you go first on your rating.
Okay.
And let us know what you're thinking.
On this one, I don't mind it too bad. I mean, at 10.8%, it drinks very smooth.
Yep.
I wish, I do taste the dark chocolate.
Yep.
I really wish we got more of the other flavors, and I wish the bourbon flavor stood out a little more.
Right. Yes.
I'm not saying that it's not really a knock on it, but it kind of is. I guess for you and me, it kind of is because, like I said, again, I think we've rated well over like 700 or 800 barrel aged beers.
Right.
And we know what we're looking for, what we like anyway.
Right. When you do it right, it's easy to tell.
Correct.
When you don't do it right,
then it's kind of like,
right. It's missing something. We can't always pinpoint it, but we just know something's missing.
Right. Now, my glass is starting to warm up a little bit, and I am getting a little more of the bourbon flavor on it.
You're right. Yep.
So, like I said, it might be one of those. We'll go with an initial score, and then we may have to go back and just take a little sips of them to see once the cans warm up a little bit.
Right.
And all of these, again, are in cans. We didn't have any bottles this time. So, anyway, so after that second, this latest taste, it does have a little bit more flavor than what I initially was going to say.
Yep.
I do give it bonus points for being extremely smooth at a 10.8%. Not hard to drink that way at all. The dark chocolate really stands out. The rest of it, I was not having any, really getting any of it. We'll see here when it warms up a little more. But I would say on that, I'm going to go like a 3.3. I think it's decent. If somebody goes, hey, you want one of these? Well, yeah, I'd take one.
Yeah, now you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink a whole lot of cans of them just because they are higher ABV and it could mess you up. But overall, I think for the first one, I think it's a decent barrel aged beer.
And it's a caveat and everything you said. I agree 100%. And when we line these beers up, we kind of, in my opinion, I thought we put the best one first because I think we both really like that. Well, maybe even the second one might be, but I was hoping that this would be the standout and the rest would taper off from there. And I hope that's not the case.
It could be.
Right. I hope that's not the case. I hope that they're all up on a higher echelon. And I think with my score, the hard part again, all the flavors, all the different things that they're talking about here, weaving in notes of this, that, spicy complexity, all these things sound good on paper. I can't taste all of them. Now, granted, you mentioned our cups aren't quite room temperature. I know that will bring out a little bit more flavor. Will it bring out so that I can taste each of these? I don't know. It's good to hope that way, but I think for me, I'm going to go just a little bit lower than what you had. I'm going to go like a 3.0. And like you said, if we come back and have maybe a tie or something, maybe I'll revisit. But
yep.
I mean, like you said, the flavors, I think they're there. I can't differentiate a lot of these flavors. They all are good on paper and I would like to taste them, but it's just not coming through.
Yeah. And I should let people know. So the order of these first four, since they're all the exact same ABV, all we did is they came in like a cardboard box.
Yep.
And we put them in the order that they were listed on the box.
Yes.
Very scientific way we did that. We just like, okay, we'll just put them in this order. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't mind it. Is it like an upper echelon barrel aged beer right now for me? No.
Right.
But it's not bad.
Right. And speaking of that, I do have a question for you. I did when I was looking this up, I did a little bit more digging because we don't, and you probably don't have the exact number, but Russian Imperial Stout is not a beer that we always do. I mean, we like to do them.
Yep.
But we just haven't done many of them. Do you know which country Russian Imperial Stouts emanated from?
This is going to be one of those, because the first thing I'm going to say is Russia. But I'm guessing you're kind of chuckling, so I'm guessing it's not Russia. I'm just going to go crazy and say Germany.
You're close. The country's in Europe.
Okay.
England.
Ooh. Nope, I wasn't even close.
So we're going to get into it a little bit later, but it all has to do with who was looking for this beer.
Oh, really?
Right. So because back in the day, they weren't able to process it, so it could transport very good.
Oh, sure. Yep.
So it was a lot of, I think, testing and seeing what spoiled.
Interesting. Now that you bring it up, I'm going to be rather interested to hear what you come up with. Because initially, just like anybody, years ago, I always thought, well, it must have been started in Russia. And,
right.
This was their version of an Imperial Stout. Huh. Interesting. Well, that's kind of wild, man.
Yeah. So I got a few good. You may not get them all right, but I think it'll be just some interesting.
Yeah, just
educational
information for the listeners. That's good.
So what do we got on tap next?
Well, let's go to the second one here.
All right.
And this is once again their barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout, 10.8% ABV, and this one was aged in Heaven Hill barrels.
Nice.
So
I've heard of that distillery.
Yes. And of course, Russell's, they're a real big name in the bourbon world as well.
Yes.
So I give them credit for using these barrels.
Right. Because those aren't cheap. I mean, that's going to take a little money to investment to get those barrels purchased.
Exactly. So let's see. So the write-up on this was real similar to the first one until when you get to the flavors.
Oh, yep.
So it's once again, this limited release Russian Imperial Stout is a bold and unapologetic dark brew aged 8 months in Heaven Hill bourbon barrels. The result is a luxurious fusion of flavors where roasted malts and bittersweet dark chocolate mingle with notes of roasted vanilla, toffee, and sweet bourbon. Hints of spice, caramel, or caramel to the layperson, and honey.
Which you like.
Honey. I don't know. Add depth, while oak and char from the barrel aging bring a smoky, velvety complexity to every sip. And once again, this is 10.8%.
Wow.
So this should be...
Again, a lot of good words on paper.
Yeah, we'll see if they match or not. So I'm guessing this is going to be a dark beer. Oh, yep, it sure is. You know, the one thing I noticed, too, on that first one, and it looks, as I'm pouring this one, it's pretty thin as far as, it's not like a real thick...
Right, not like the motor oil.
Right. You know, so that's kind of an interesting deal as well. Smells... similar to the first one.
Close.
A little different, I guess. That does have a little bit of a different flavor, but it's again
very similar.
Very, very subtle.
Yes.
I think this one may even have even less bourbon flavor.
Right.
What is spice, caramel, and honey add depth?
And it's supposed to have vanilla, toffee, and sweet bourbon.
I'm not...
Again, I think that dark chocolate might be the overpowering flavor.
Yeah. Now,
it's
like I
not
said,
bad, but it's just, that's all you're really getting out of the...
I do think that the bourbon, I do get a little different flavor.
Yes.
So you
Heaven Hill and
the Russells
are a little
different.
I mean, just a touch different.
This one, to me, almost has a little bit more of a, I don't want to say smoother, but on the bourbon side, it's, right. I guess you could say smoother. It's because the first one didn't have a huge amount of bourbon flavor, but it still had a little bit.
Right.
Where this one, it's pretty mellow.
I mean, they're not bad. I mean, it's not horrendous. I mean, you're not going to be scared away by taking a sip of this. It's just, I was, again, looking for a lot of these good flavors that they're talking about are really good. I mean, when you get them in the right combination in your beer, they
should be good.
Yes, very good.
I'm trying to see if I'm picking up any kind of a smokiness. Do you really get much of that?
No, I don't. No, I mean, for me, I think this one it's smoother than the first one, but it's the flavors aren't as pronounced.
Correct. I agree 100%
so I don't know
with you.
What the balance, how do you...
And I don't know if that's because of the honey. I mean, that it smoothed it out.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just...
I mean, because there's no burn on your throat.
Nope.
There is, I mean, the Heaven's Hill, granted, I mean, I think I've had it before, but I can't guarantee you that I could recognize what a Heaven's Hill bourbon tastes like.
Yep.
But, I mean, I like the bourbon. I mean, I'm thinking that this is okay.
I was going to say.
It's just hard to really pick it apart. I mean, because it's, you want to give it the credit that it's due, but you want to go by what they tell you it's going to be in there too.
Right. Exactly. I don't know. So far, these are definitely better than the Shiner.
Yes, you did a good job on
so
that.
I will say that.
Hang on. That was a high five.
Okay, good. I will say that. But I guess those first two, I was kind of hoping for a little more.
Right, because I mean, I think we both were hoping, you get the Reserve, Rye Whiskey, Heaven's Hill Bourbon.
Yep.
Man, let's start off with
this is going to be good, and they're not bad, but they're just very muted.
Right. And again, you've been up there. I haven't been up there. I mean, and a lot of times, not all breweries, but many are trying to make their beer for the masses.
Right. And when I was up there, they did not have any of these on tap. So
sometimes, they're not trying to get too bold with their flavors to scare people off.
Correct.
But for us, we're like, make it bold.
Then it's like, we want flavors.
We want that flavor. So, I mean, you want me to give out a score?
Yeah, if you want to go first on this one, yep.
So, it's not bad. It's not a bad beer. I appreciate that it's 10.8. I know that's not easy to do. So, and it's not sweet. They're not covering things up. But the flavors that they talk about are just not pronounced. They don't come through like I was hoping. And I think that I'm going to give this a little bit more of a nod than the first one. I can't really differentiate exactly why I want to, but like you said, I think that velvety smoothness, maybe that's where I give it a little bit. So I'm going to say a 3.1.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I wish there was a little bit more when it comes to flavor. And I'm not a honey guy.
Yes, I know.
And
not the mead.
Right. Well, meads are different. I don't mind mead, but like your honey beers, like honey weisses and things like that, they always have a weird taste to me. I don't taste the honey at all in this. And I don't know if that... So I'm not knocking it on because of honey.
Right.
I honestly wish there was more,
right. We don't know how the honey influenced the other flavors.
Correct. And I do think this one's a little bit smoother than that first one. But again, I wish there was more.
Yes.
Of something.
More flavor. We have more beer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got plenty more beer. I don't get like the smokiness, that it could have hints of smoke and such and that. I don't really taste that either. So, yeah, I'm going to go with 3 point. Oh, man. Yeah, because the sad part is it's smoother than the first one, and I've already painted myself in the corner.
Well, we can always adjust because we already talked about that.
Yeah. So. Okay. I'm gonna go with 3.1 on the first one,
okay,
and I'll go with 3.3 on the second one.
Okay.
Because I do like this one better. It is a little bit smoother.
Yep.
I think it works a little bit better, but I just wish there was more flavor.
Yes.
Yeah. Because am I pushing a 3.5? No, that's why I'm like, I can't go up there,
right.
Where I was going to have to go. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to do that.
Yeah. So, we're going back to what we're talking about, the Russian Imperial Stouts. And this style of beer was brewed for someone very specifically.
Okay.
Do you know who that person was? And should I give you a hint?
Sure.
As unbelievable as this might sound, it was made for a female.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. It's made for a female. It's out of England. Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Was this female from England or?
She was not.
Okay. So throw out the queen,
yep.
I was going to say. Wow. Since it's Russian Imperial Stout, I'm just going to say that it was made for like some either queen or princess of Russia. I don't know a name.
So you are somewhat correct. It was made for the Empress Catherine the Great of Russia.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was kind of on the right track.
Right. So that's where I think the Russian name comes part of it.
Gotcha.
Where it was originally brewed for.
Yep.
So I thought, well, dang, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And usually a lot of these Russian Imperial Stouts are higher alcohol content, rich multi-flavors, slightly bitter taste. I don't think there's maybe just a little bit of bitterness, but not much.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, I thought that was cool. So now we're starting to get into the interest.
So that's interesting. So Catherine the Great.
Of Russia, yep.
Of Russia is who it was made for, but it's made in England for her.
Right.
Interesting. See, ladies and gentlemen, Jim is trying to educate, and he's doing a good job of it.
I'm trying the best I can.
And I'm kind of delaying because this next beer I'm kind of worried about.
Yes. What do we have on tap?
So, once again, it's Dangerous Man,
okay.
Russian Imperial Stout.
Yep.
This one, I'll just read the description here.
All right.
And again, it starts the same as the other ones. This limited release Russian Imperial Stout is a bold and unapologetic dark brew aged 8 months in Starlight Blackberry wine barrels.
Ooh, wow.
The result is a decadent fusion of flavors where roasted malts and bittersweet dark chocolate meet luscious notes of blackberry jam and dark, juicy fruits. Layers of caramel, dark malt, and vanilla bean add a velvety complexity, making each sip an indulgent journey. And it's 10.8% once again.
Wow.
So we've had a few that have been done
so
in
we've had some
wine barrels.
Okay.
And at times they haven't been at the higher end of our scale.
Haven't they been kind of almost like tart? Not sour, but tart?
Kind of.
Like the wine has made it
a
little bit. So let's hope this one is much smoother.
Please let this be okay.
My fingers are crossed.
I was going to say, I am a little bit worried just because, like I said, in the past, our experience with wine and Chardonnay, we've had Chardonnay ones too that have been kind of
not the best flavor.
Right. Okay, there's yours. So aroma-wise, it's very, very subtle. I really don't.
I don't smell
anything
of the wine aroma.
Boy, I really don't even taste anything.
I don't taste wine at all.
I wonder if whatever their base beer that they used for this, if that's what's overpowering all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at least with the bourbon ones, you did get a hint of bourbon.
Right.
This one, I don't taste blackberry at all. I don't taste a fruity note at all. All I get is that dark chocolate, and that's about it.
The same, which was their base model in the first two cans. I don't get anything that's really standing out.
I guess it does have a little different flavor, but it's not a berry flavor at all.
No, and it's not.
You know what I mean? It's just like it's lacking something. Like berry flavor.
Yeah, I mean, because I guess what I'm kind of just faintly is a little bit of dryness in my mouth now. Like like after you drink a little bit of wine.
Yep.
I don't know the flavors of wine that well, but it's like my mouth is kind of dry. It's starting to salivate a little bit because it's drying out. So I don't know if that's from the wine cask or not.
Yeah, and I don't know what Starlight blackberry wine tastes like.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's really a shot in the dark there. I'm just banking on it was going to be a blackberry wine.
Right. I mean, I've had blackberry brandy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's tasted very good. Mm-hmm. I think we've
actually... You can taste that.
Right. And I think we just had a blackberry crown royal. I think they just came out with that one. That one tasted, that was a little overpowering blackberry, but you could definitely taste that in there.
Right.
This one,
I said, I think the base beer that they used maybe was a stronger flavor to it right off the get-go, and it kind of covered it up.
Yes, I'm not getting a lot from it.
No, because I do get, like I said, on the finish, there's a different finish to it than the first two. I give it that.
Yes.
But it's not like it's a flavor. You know what I mean? It's just kind of ends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. My expectations for this one when we went into the tasting were this might be my lowest one of the group. Just because I'm not a big wine guy, and we haven't had good luck with beers that have been aged in wine barrels or wine casks.
Yep.
So this was going to be on the lower end for me anyway, but this hasn't knocked my socks off.
I think this is going to be one I'll probably revisit it at the end of the episode here just to get a little warmer taste of it.
Right.
But yeah, for a score for me right now, Jim, I'm going to go, because the base beer itself is pretty decent. I'm going to go 3.0.
Okay.
So it is going to be my lowest one so far. And again, because I just am not picking up any kind of fruit flavor, wine flavor, any of that stuff.
Right. And I think you hit it nail on the head. It talks about blackberry wine, blackberry jam, dark juicy fruits. I'm not getting any of those. I think my score might even be a little lower. I'm going to go with 2.8.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that I dislike it in any way. It's just, so now we're on our third beer, and each one of these first three have talked about a lot of different flavors that were going to be included. And I'm assuming that they are, but I just can't pick them out. I can't differentiate them. This beer shouldn't scare you away, but it's lacking in some flavor.
Yeah. I was going to say, and the first three they're all good representations, but none of them have stood out.
Right. They're not like, whoa, I'm going to go back and have another one of those.
Now, when we go back and try, once it warms up and we'll see, we may change our note a little bit. But right now, I'm just kind of there. I think you're kind of right, Jim, that they may have took that mindset of brewing for the masses and tried to apply it to a barrel aging program. And I don't think that really works well together. I think if you're going to go big into barrel aging, which, these may be the only 4 they've ever done. I don't know. Right. But if you're going to, you're getting Heaven Hill and Russell's barrels and all this and that. To me, it would seem like, hey, you're going full bore.
Right. You're putting a lot of investment into it.
Yeah. Then you really need to go full bore on the flavors. And so far, I haven't seen.
Now, one, just the, how do we represent it? The guy on his sidelines looking in, from our Central Waters experience, a lot of their beers, they're aging 40, 50, 60 months in those barrels.
Correct. And these have all been 8.
8 months. So I can't put my finger on to say that's the reason why, but maybe that's something that they could maybe try. Let it age a little bit longer in that barrel. Maybe change a little bit of the flavors, add a little bit more to it, let it age a little bit longer. Possibly. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think about aging it even longer?
I agree 100% with you. I never even really put that together. I think that, and that might be part of that whole, where I said that the base beer might be too strong. It might be strong, but but it's only in for 8 months.
Right.
So it's really how much flavor is it pulling out of that barrel?
Yep.
And like I said, the companies that really do a good job, they're doing it for a number of years.
Right.
And so that's a great point, Jim. I think you may have nailed it right on the head there. So,
and like you mentioned, this is maybe a smaller brewery. They, are doing it and then getting it out to the patrons and want to get people to start tasting it. But I think letting it age longer is going to make it even smoother, even taste better from what we've found. Right?
Yep. And it definitely pulls flavor out of the barrel.
Oh, yes.
Where right now I think it's almost like it's rushed.
Yes.
A little bit,
Oh, 100% agree.
Hey, look at there. I think we might have figured our way through this.
We might have cracked the code. All right, so we're talking about Russian Imperial Stouts, and we just nailed down that in England, there's a brewery that made Russian Imperial Stout for Catherine the Great of Russia.
Yeah.
What was the name of that brewery?
Oof. Okay, is it one that we've heard of, or do you not really? Is it not really?
Not a common one. You may have heard of it.
Huh.
Should I give you a hint on the last name?
Sure.
Brewery.
Oh, well, that narrows it right down.
Did that help at all?
Well, I'm trying to think of what breweries over there do I know. I'm pretty sure it's not Samuel Smith, because that's about the only one I know over there. I don't know.
Oh, that's good. Well, good try. You were close.
Yeah.
Good effort. It was Barclay Perkins Anchor Brewery.
Huh. Yeah, I never would. You could have wrote that down, and I probably wouldn't have guessed that one.
That one? Well, I thought you knew that one.
Interesting. No, did it? Okay, and I may be skipping ahead. Did it say time frame when they made it? That's coming.
Oh yeah,
great.
I got an exact date.
Great.
Yeah, so I didn't want to leave.
Hate that.
And it's even going to give a little bit of even since we're talking about who was the owner of Barclay Perkins Anchor Brewery?
Barclay, Mr. Barclay.
No,
Mr. Perkins.
Henry.
Henry
Thrale, Thrale.
Well, his name wasn't even on there.
I know. Look at that. But he was the brewer.
Okay. Huh.
See, I gave you a free one.
Thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't have got.
You wouldn't have got that one either? I thought you knew
I'm
that
not
one.
even going to lie about that. I never even heard of that guy.
Well,
all right, I'm going to go to another beer then.
So we're on our last one of this pack.
Our last from Dangerous Man.
All right.
This one I'm really looking forward to, but should I say I was looking forward to it. I don't know now how the flavor is going to be. And this was aged in Virgin Island rum barrels. And I looked online too, and it had a description for the first three and nothing. It didn't even have a picture of this can.
Right. I just looked up Untappd. Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Okay.
It says 10.8%, and that's all I could find.
So on the back, it does have essence. I'm guessing these are the flavors we're supposed to see. And it says essence of caramelized vanilla, baking spices, toffee, dark cocoa, charred oak, sweet dark fruit.
Sweet dark fruit.
Yeah. Now, it really, I guess, to me, I'm not expecting a whole lot anymore, just because of how the first ones have went.
The first two have been underwhelming.
The first three, yeah. We've had other rum barrel beers before.
Yes.
And some of them, the rum is like super strong. And other ones, you really didn't even know that there was a rum in it.
Right. Now,
so
I know this is a craft beer podcast, but you do like rum.
My spirit of choice is rum. And
so you've had a few.
Oh, I've had all sorts of rum.
So if there's anybody that knows anything maybe about Virgin Islands rum, you're going to know much more than me, or much more than probably a lot of the listeners, I bet.
Right. And I'm hoping that it stands out a little bit, but like I said, unfortunately right now my hopes aren't very high. So
And again, I think we talked about it too. We don't even know if Virgin Islands is the name of the distiller.
Correct.
If it's the location where they got the rum or anything. So
yeah, because we've went on a number of cruises and
in the Caribbean,
yep. And every island we go to, I find out what the rum distilleries are, and usually right at the ports or close to it, they'll have liquor stores, or at the duty free shops you can buy local rum. And there's some very good local rums that I've bought from all these different islands. They all have their own little flavor to them.
Right. And they're all just a little tweak off, right?
Yes.
So they don't all taste the same.
No, none of them taste the same.
Right. They're a little bit different.
Yep. And now the Virgin Islands, I don't believe we've been to, so I have not.
So this might be a
new one for me too. So let's see. Aroma wise, it's very muted.
Yeah, I don't smell much, if anything.
Again, I
Wow.
I'm just not getting much flavor. I think you nailed it. I think they needed to keep these in the barrels longer.
I mean, there's very little. I don't taste any rum. I'm not. I know I've had a little bit of rum. I like rum and cokes.
Well,
but this, I don't know if I'm even tasting any rum at all.
The only thing to me, the flavor that stands out on all of these is the dark chocolate.
Yes.
And now revisiting the first two, you at least could taste the bourbon.
Yes.
Where the last two now, the wine and the rum, I don't pick those flavors up.
No, I mean, the only thing that I got from the wine one was a little bit of a dry mouth.
Yep.
This one, I'm not picking.
I don't pick any rum up.
Anything. I'm like, gosh, darn it. I was like, man, this had very high expectations.
So did I.
Especially when you brought into the Shiner. I was like, Mike can't go that low anymore. He's going to have to go way high, and he did.
At least
you did.
It was higher than that.
Yes, you did a very good job of that. So
I'm the first person to say, Jim, I'm kind of disappointed in this. I'm glad I got it, though.
Yes.
Because I've never seen... This is one of the first variety packs where there are 4 different kinds, barrel-aged beers.
And Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah, the Russian Imperial Stouts, and they're all
kudos
different
to them.
barrels. So
yes.
I hope more breweries do it this way, because that was a cool thing.
Yes, very much.
It was a little more expensive. I mean, I think it was $30-some for the 4-pack, but you got to expect that, being barrel-aged and 10.8%, all of them, and they're pint cans.
I mean, we just went through the Bourbon County.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where each one...
That's a different...
Where each one is what they piece.
A bottle is about as much as one of
these 4-packs.
A 4-pack, yeah.
So, but they have a very good process. They're locked in.
Yes.
But are they close? I don't know if I could say they're close, but I think they're on the right track.
It would be interesting to see next year if they come out around the same time, let's say, and all of a sudden they have they've been in the barrel for almost 2 years.
Right, double what they had in there.
Yeah, I bet you then you're going to start to see some of the flavors develop more.
Yes.
And I think that would be a good thing, because I think, like you said, they're on the right track, but they definitely need more time.
Right.
And such, so.
What are I'll let you like rum.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go a 2.7 on this one. I do like, the base beer is decent, but that's what they pretty much all tasted
right,
like.
they're all 4 tasted.
And
very close.
Again, it's very smooth. Doesn't drink like a 10.8%er, but I just don't get any flavor other than the dark chocolate. So
right, and again, unfortunately, for the listeners out there, we've looked. I've tried to find what is in here for ingredients. They're right up. I couldn't find anything. Mike looked. So we want to tell you guys what's in there. We even want to know what's in there so we can kind of try to explain it. But
well, I can guarantee you the first sentence was going to be, this limited release Russian Imperial Stout is a bold and unapologetic dark brew aged 8 months in Virgin Island rum barrels.
Yes.
And that would have been...
Yes, you are 100% correct.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't get any kind of a different flavor, especially those last two, other than, like you said, that the wine one, you did have a little bit of a dryness to it. Other than that, they taste very similar.
Yeah. And yeah, that's, again, I think you took my score. I think I was actually going to say the same exact thing. Of this group of 4, this is probably the lowest that I'm going to give. I'm going to say a 2.7 as well. Not that it's a bad beer. Not that it's, I think it's an okay representation of a Russian Imperial Stout that's barrel aged.
Yep.
It's just flavor. There's just not, all 4 of these taste so close together. You hit it nail right on the head. And is everybody looking for that? I don't think so. They're taking the time to make 4 different beers. I think you want to make them stand out a little bit different. If you put a tape on each one of these and then taste them, I don't think I personally could differentiate between these 4.
No, not really. Other than the first 2, you could kind of get a little bit of a bourbon-y flavor, but very muted.
Right.
But the last 2,
yeah, and that's the harp. I think we're kind of maybe not accustomed, but I think we understand the flavor. So on the other beers that we've had that have been barrel aged, you can tell. Wow, all right, this has got bourbon, this has got vanilla, this is
yes.
And that's kind of unfortunate. That's the bar that we set some of these beers at, so that we can tell the listeners, how we're tasting them. Not that we're not trying to knock them down in any way, but I think we're just trying to let people know, what we're tasting and what they would taste if they bought this.
Oh yeah, and like I said before, this type of thing is really kind of our specialty.
Yes.
So we know what we're looking for, and we've had some very, very good ones. We've had some that weren't very, very good.
Right.
But these are they're not bad, but I hate to say it this way, but they're just kind of ho-hum.
Yes.
You know, I think like I said, a beer brewed for the masses I think might be part of it, but I think you nailed it. 8 months is not enough to age in these. And hopefully they keep doing it and it'll keep getting better.
Right.
You know,
and I mean, if they would like us to come up there and try some of the same beers that have been aged for like a year, 2 years, or 3 years.
Oh yeah.
We would volunteer. We could come up there and help them out.
For sure. We'd love to help you out.
And that's kind of what we want to try to do.
Right. Exactly.
So
I guess.
So I'm going to lead it into some of the other explanation about the stout.
Okay.
So when I don't have the exact date that Russian Imperial Stouts, I tried to look, and there's a year time frame when the Catherine the Great was alive.
Okay. So we know it's in between there.
Right. So we don't have an exact date.
Okay.
But we do have that porters are the start of these of stouts.
Makes sense.
Porters were the first iteration.
Okay.
And then it turned into stout. And then from what I found, they were shipping that porter and that stout long distances, and it was spoiling. So because apparently from England to Moscow is about 1,500 miles. And it's not like now where you could fly. You had to either ship as far as you could and then try to truck it. So they added a lot more. That's where it's higher alcohol, a little more bitter, because then they found out that beer would last.
Okay.
So that's why they called it the Russian Imperial Stout, because
they were shipping it to Russia.
And the only way they could make it last was to increase the alcohol or the bitterness.
That is interesting. Huh.
So that's where it started out, as the porter, then it went the stout, then they called it a stout porter, and then that's where the owner changed it to the Russian Imperial Stout.
And he probably changed it just so they knew what was in what. Yeah, this is going to Russia, so this is Russian Imperial Stout. This is the Imperial Stout for everywhere else.
Right.
Yeah, that's wild how
So it wasn't a questionnaire; it was more just a comment. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't really a way I could ask a question with that.
No, that's cool.
I thought that was
that's a neat bit of information there, because I just always thought either it originated in Russia, or whatever,
And I think we even talked about what makes a double or an imperial, or now we know that it's an imperial because it had to travel in order for it to not spoil en route to where it was going. They had increased alcohol.
Interesting. Makes sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah, so now we're shifting a little gear, right?
All right, now we're done with Dangerous Man.
Yes. Peace be with them.
Good job, guys. But, you're on the right track. We'd love to revisit this in a year or so and see how they're doing, because I think they're going to keep going. They'll go up from here, I think. Now we're going to go to a company that we're well aware of.
Yes.
And
we always seem to have a very good barrel aging process.
Yep. And these are actually three of the same, I guess you could say the same beer family.
Yes.
They're all the Wolf.
Right. And
from Three Sheeps.
We've actually, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of times, I know I've used it at some tasting events.
Oh, yeah.
And you've used it, and it's won.
It's done very well, yes.
And that's just the Wolf base model.
The base model. Now, these are three variants.
2024
variants. Yeah, so we've had variants. I think last year we found some.
Yeah.
And we tried them, and they were very good. So I'm really excited for this. So is this the correct one for...
I believe so.
I'm just reading here. Yes. All right, so the first one we have...
And what size can you got there?
This is a normal, like a 12-ounce can.
So an average person
could probably, yeah. Yeah, when you're opening up those pint cans, you're pot committed, so to speak.
Yeah.
So this is... But these are, too, because these are higher ABVs.
What do you mean higher?
So, well, let me read this. The first one we have is the Wolf Pecan, Coconut, and Vanilla.
Ooh,
and it's 11.4% ABV.
Okay.
And the description was bourbon barrel aged imperial stout with pecans, coconut, and vanilla.
So they're not even trying to fake us out.
No,
they're not even trying to like the first one where it had all the good verbiage and all the good wording and velvet and complexity and this and that.
Yeah.
They're just saying,
here it is.
This is what we're putting in there. We hope you taste it.
Yep. And on the bottom, they do have the born on date. They have 11.4% alcohol by volume right on the bottom of the can.
So they're not trying to hide anything.
And it's kind of funny because the artwork, it has the wolf on it, and then this one has vanilla and coconuts. It's laying there, and I'm not sure. One must be a pecan.
Okay.
But, so it's just a little different.
And
twist.
I think, again, we've always struggled to figure out what a pecan tastes like in beer.
Yeah.
We've never really found a good pecan flavor, have we?
Pecan pie, but not in beer.
Right. Right. You are right.
All right. So let's check this out. So, like I said, this is the pecan.
Let's go pecan coconut.
Coconut vanilla. All right. And we'll put that back there.
All right. Well, it's definitely dark like the first ones, right?
Well, you can smell there's booze in it. Can't you?
Oh, and just for the listeners, we did change glasses.
Yes.
We didn't rinse out our glasses, but we got fresh.
We have fresh glasses here. So
whatever we're smelling now is only from
the 3 sheets.
Yep.
Boy, you can smell
wow, that's smooth.
That has a sweetness to it.
Wow.
Boy, I totally can get the coconut.
Yeah.
I get vanilla. I'm trying to.
And again,
maybe. I bet you we are getting pecan in there. Now that you think about it, I'll guarantee we are.
There must be, but I'm not 100% sure.
Now, did it happen to say, Jim? And I don't see it on your sheet. If it said what the barrels were, it says bourbon barrel, but it didn't say what.
Correct. I did not see that. Even on the other two, I didn't see it either.
Okay. So. Wow. That is.
Wow. For 11.4, that's scary.
Smooth.
That's scary.
That's one of those. You're 2-3 beers deep going, how did I get so hammered drunk?
Wow, that is good.
That is something.
And again, folks, we're doing 3 from 3 sheeps.
That is just a sweet, smooth.
And this is the lowest ABV one of this group.
Well, yeah, we got that going for us too.
11.4%.
It would be interesting to know how long they aged it for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If it was longer or not.
Wow.
That is crazy good.
That's really good.
That is something. Yeah.
Well, what are you thinking?
I like it. I'm going to 4. I really like this. It's got a little bit of a sweeter flavor to it, but it's that coconut and vanilla. And it works really good together. I do think I do pick up hints of pecan. But that's not the dominant flavor, but it complements it so well. And whatever the barrels are and however long they did it, they know what they're doing. Wow, good job. That's good.
Not to cut you off, but when I was doing the check, and I think you'd even brought this up before, that the company does have a barrel society.
Yeah, like a club. A membership you can buy.
A membership, and you can get all of their barrel-aged beers. Was it 10 or 12?
12. You can get 12 bottles of beer, of their barrel-aged beers. And that it says exclusive releases, so I don't know if it's like these or if it's different ones or not. I don't know. We need to look at that. Yeah.
But I mean, because what's weird is
you even get invitations to a Barrel Society members only party.
Oh, well, if their beers taste like this,
yeah.
And I mean, we don't. I mean, I thought we were very lucky because this is the first time we've actually seen 3 different ones,
right,
in this area.
Yes,
we don't always get. So I was thinking that maybe we should get into Barrel Society so we can try to let the listeners know.
That would be, an interesting. Have probably a couple of episodes.
Yeah, we probably could do 12 at once.
No. And we probably could, but we probably shouldn't. That's the,
And it looked like they're the 22-ounce bottles.
Oh, well, that makes it a whole different. Then we probably shouldn't do 12 in one.
We might have to cut that up.
We're going to look into that because that is rather interesting. It definitely has piqued my interest.
Yes.
Because they know what they're doing.
Right.
And
I was going to go, I mean, my score, I'm following right in line with you, 4.0. I mean, I think the only beer, and I could be wrong, that we've actually had a good pecan was a Central Waters Pecan Kringle.
That Kringle, yes.
That was
very good.
I think that had a little bit of a sweetness to it.
Yep, and maybe that's what we're getting more of here.
Right.
I don't know, but that Pecan Kringle...
that was up there.
We should... Well, we know where we bought these cans. Yeah. We could get another one of these, and we should find
match it against
Pecan Kringle. I think I may still have one.
And do
and just do a side-by-side.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to do an episode on just for our own knowledge, because that was a very good beer, too.
Right.
So
yep.
Maybe we're totally missing it, and we're getting the pecan, and we think it's the coconut and the vanilla.
But this is to start off this threesome. Like, this is really, really good.
This is very good. Like I said, it is interesting, and I kind of am digging a little bit the way we're doing it, where you're comparing a few from one brewery and a different one.
Right. And I don't think you can actually go from one can
to
another can.
There's
I don't think you can do that.
No, because there's not two of them that are the exact same from this grouping. You know what I mean?
Right, or have the exact same ingredients.
Correct.
No, I mean, so I think we did the best we could, not knocking the Dangerous Man at all, but I think...
But like I said, I think they're new into barrel aging. Three Sheeps is well established.
Right, and we're going strictly by ABV.
Yep.
Is the lineup how we went.
Did you have another question, or should we just continue?
Do you want to go to another one?
Well, we could do another question, or we can go to the next beer.
Well, we'll go to the next beer.
All right. So this is Three Sheeps of the Wolf.
Okay.
This is their Mexican-style hot chocolate from 2024.
Okay.
13.6%.
Whoa. Say that one again.
The whole thing or just the ABV?
ABV?
13.6% ABV.
So we've went from 10.8
to 10.8 to 10.8 to 10.8 to 11.4 to 13.6.
So we went like this.
It went tick, 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 and all of a sudden we're going doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We're going up. We're going up.
It's like strap in now.
Yeah. Now you're getting into the big boy area.
All right. Well,
now,
I think I'm ready.
Every time we've ever had a Mexican style beer, what's the first thing that you...
Peppers.
There, okay.
Those hot little peppers seem to get me right in my throat.
So let's see what this says. This says Mexican hot chocolate style barrel aged stout made with cocoa nibs.
Is it cocoa or cacao?
Cacao nibs, cinnamon, vanilla, and I don't know how you peppers. Guajillo.
I know that the end sounds like yo.
Yeah, I don't know. Gallo or some kind of pepper. So I'm guessing.
So we don't know what that's going to taste like, do we?
No, I'm wondering. They're probably going to be a little bit of a spiciness.
So what does a can got on it too?
As far as the exact same.
The wolf?
Oh, it has a wolf with a big old red pepper on it.
So hopefully they didn't put that much pepper in.
No, but we'll find out.
But that's cool. For whatever reason, it seemed like the last few months, we've actually found a few more Mexican hot chocolate style beers.
Yep. And when it's the Mexican hot chocolate style, they all seem to have pepper in them.
Yes.
But we've had other Mexican style this, Mexican style that they don't. But then it's kind of a disappointment.
Right. These are all, like if you were out on a sleigh ride or something outside, standing in the snow like now, if the other ones you've had, they warm you right up. So.
Ooh, this one smells like chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't it? It's got that kind of a hot chocolatey.
Yes, it does. Wow. I can taste it.
I can get the cinnamon.
Cinnamon comes right up front.
Cinnamon for sure. The cocoa nibs, cinnamon.
Yep.
I'm still waiting on...
It's not strong.
It's not super spicy. I was expecting more pepper burn, but I'm not really getting that. But again, I don't know. Not only do I not know how to pronounce it, I don't know the heat scale on that pepper.
I mean, and again, I don't mind the spicy stuff. I know it doesn't seem to...
I don't mind it.
Right, because you did the ghost pepper stuff, and I couldn't even hardly touch it.
Yep.
But this does not... I mean, the words are scaring me more than the actual flavor.
Right, exactly.
But it's very good. I mean, maybe, the only...
It is reminiscent of some of the other Mexican hot chocolate beers we've... You know what I mean? But how do you tweak that more? You know what I'm saying? I think it's good.
So I think the only thing that I'm probably a little... I wish was maybe a little more pepper.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think that's... I can't believe I'm saying it. That's why I struggle to come up with the word.
You must look at me. You must be getting hammered drunk now.
Because I don't like a lot of pepper, that spice, but this doesn't have that.
Right.
And this,
I wish it did.
Yes. I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying that. But
I know. It's a good thing I'm sitting down.
But I mean, it's good. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. I mean, and I don't even taste the bourbon burn. So they've got
it's a very good beer. But I agree with you 100%. I do wish it had more pepper. And that is crazy, but I wish it had, because some of the other ones we've had, not that they have a burn, but it has a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a faint burn. And this one, I'm really not getting. Now that I've been talking, maybe the back of my tongue has just a very, very faint.
Right. And I think several of the other ones we had even had I want to say a spice.
Oh yeah. A heat index or a...
Well, like a little... Like a different, not only the pepper.
Oh, yeah.
But a little, I don't know is it a Mexican spice?
Right.
They kind of left a lingering flavor in your mouth.
I do kind of really like the amount of cinnamon. Because we've had some that are way over the top, but this is a pretty good
Yeah, and I think the cinnamon vanilla flavor.
Yeah, works well together.
Yes. So that's, I mean, my only drawback is I wish there was a little bit more pepper. I mean, like right now it is warming up. Like you said, in the back of my throat, a little bit.
Just a faint.
But nothing that's scaring me. And I don't like the pepper, so it's not scaring me.
What are you going for a score?
I still like the pecan coconut.
Yes.
So I know this is 13.6. I appreciate that. I'm just going to step below. I wish if I could go into hundreds, I'd go into hundreds, but I'll go with 3.9.
I'm going to do a 3.7.
Okay.
And the main thing is just the pepper. I wish it had more.
Yeah.
But I think overall the cinnamon and vanilla work well. I really like the amount of cinnamon they have. The base, whatever the base is that they use, it's very good, but I do think they age it longer.
Yes.
And this is good. So yeah, even though I went 0.3 of a point lower, I would drink that in a heartbeat any day of the week. So.
Yeah, and I think we talk about all the time. These are not cold. These are they're starting to get room temperature, and I think each sip that I'm taking, I'm getting a little bit more.
Yeah,
a little, and it's not overpowering, but it's just like, oh wow, now I can taste a little bit of this. So kudos to them. I mean, for me, that's what I think I like about craft beer is now you can get a little, when you drink the big box beers, you're getting the same flavor
from start to finish.
All the time. That's all. With this one, I mean, it's amazing that the flavors have. I mean, we're not taking big drinks. We're not. No. We don't have big. We're not. We don't have a Stein.
No. No.
We're not
Thank goodness we don't today.
Drinking a gallon. We're only drinking a few ounces.
Yep.
But just from that little bit that we're drinking, the flavor has increased.
Yes. Yep.
I hope I say that right.
Yep, I agree with you. And, that's the thing with a lot of these, especially the barrel-aged beers, you really want them to be 50 to 54, 55 degrees roughly.
Right.
Or warmer, typically because then the flavor really comes out.
Yes.
And these are definitely getting into that sweet spot right now. And it's like, dang, they're tasting
really
good.
It's coming out good.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the novice craft beer drinker, I mean, I would not be afraid to recommend these first two. Would I recommend you drink a 6-pack?
No.
Which
is funny, they don't even sell them, I don't think, in 6-packs. They're all individual cans.
I'd recommend you sit down with a friend, share it, and you could enjoy, these.
I will say this, if you ever are involved in a beer tasting and you need to bring, a beer like this, bring one of these because you're going to finish, unless you're doing a beer tasting with people that have never, drank this kind of beer before. Otherwise, you're going to score way high.
Yeah, this is definitely very, very good beer. Kudos to Three Sheeps. I mean, they're doing a great job right now. Mm-hmm. And I actually don't have another question for you. So
So I guess I'll just go to the last one.
So, I guess my thought process when I started putting the questions together was I was uncertain about Dangerous Man.
Yes.
Because we hadn't had it. So my questions were more oriented to fill gaps in the Dangerous Man. Yep. But I knew that Three Sheeps had a good product.
Yes. Well, let's go to the third and final Three Sheep.
All right. The Charm.
So, now, again, this is the Wolf.
Yes.
But this one, this was aged in 18-year Elijah Craig bourbon barrels.
Ooh, that sounds good.
The ABV on this one went up just a little bit.
Just a little?
Yeah, it's now 14.1.
Whoa, say that one again.
14.1.
Yowza.
And it has 31 IBUs, which I think isn't going to matter much in this beer. I'm sure it's going to be pretty smooth.
Yep.
Let's see. So their description on this one was, we've taken the Wolf to new heights by aging it in 18-year Elijah Craig bourbon barrels, crafting one of our favorite variants ever. Ooh. These exceptional barrels impact layers of complexity with rich notes of caramel, roasty cinnamon, and a hint of dark berry for an unbelievably smooth and drinkable Wolf experience.
Wow.
And again,
that all sounds good.
Maybe they don't say how long they age them, just being part of their
proprietary.
There you go.
Secrets.
They could be, but now these are 18-year Elijah Craig barrels.
So those aren't cheap ones.
Those aren't cheap. No.
I mean, you could afford a few. I mean, I could barely. I could probably sniff one, but I couldn't afford one.
Exactly. Yeah. Remember that. All right. Ooh. Here, we'll turn it around. And what's on the can? The art is a wolf that's howling, and it's in front of the end of a barrel, a bourbon barrel.
I'm taking maybe Elijah Craig.
I'm guessing Elijah Craig barrels.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
So now this is our last of the Three Sheeps.
The last of the Three Sheeps. Yeah.
So we're hoping
you have your surprise coming in.
I got one coming at the end.
Okay. Very mellow aroma.
This shouldn't scare you away.
No.
Wow.
That's
smooth.
Yes.
14.1.
I was going to say that is every bit as smooth as any of these other ones that we've tasted that were way lower.
14.1. That does not taste.
No.
There's not sweetness. They're not covering anything up.
No, I'm trying to see if I can pick out like the roasty cinnamon or that kind of thing. But you can tell this was made in a quality barrel, you know.
I mean, nothing even like, oh wow, that's this or that. I mean, it's like the bourbon, you know, when you taste that, like a sip of good bourbon, it's the same thing taken right out of that can.
Have you had 18-year Elijah Craig before? I don't myself. I don't think I have. That's why I'm just wondering.
So
we do have a friend that he's pretty big into bourbon,
right?
But I don't know if
I just had one recently, just a small pour at one of our local downtown bourbon houses. And it was an 18-year something.
Okay.
Super smooth. I mean, you know, no burn, no. I don't know if it was an Elijah Craig, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, aren't a lot of that's under Buffalo Trace.
I believe
the umbrella of Buffalo Trace.
Right.
So I mean, this is good.
So I know to the north of us, there's a little where Sand Creek is in Black River. And we have to go up there one of these days because they do have a bar that they have an entire wall of bourbons.
Oh,
and basically, it's very similar to, I think, where you were at before, but where it's like almost anything you can think of, they have where you can get a pour. Yeah. And some of them, bourbons get expensive in a hurry, you know, and it's like, okay.
The longer they're aged, the more expensive they are.
So I'm sure they have this there, and they have like Pappy and all that kind of stuff, but it's a neat bar. I've only been in it once. I had never been in it before. We went there and I was like, wow, you know? So we got to check that out. But yeah, so I was just wondering if you had ever tasted this, because this is like very smooth. Yes. Very smooth.
I mean, I think the hard part again, well, maybe my taste buds are getting overpowered, being our 7th barrel aged beer. I'm not picking up the cinnamon.
No.
And a dark berry. Again, what is that?
Yeah, I don't.
Is it a blackberry? Is it a raspberry?
Yeah.
Black cat?
Blueberry?
I don't know. But it's super smooth.
Very smooth.
No, I don't have a burn.
No, you don't get that Kentucky hug at all.
No.
You know?
I mean, even like the pepper one, I had a little bit of burn going on. After taking a sip of this, that's all gone too now.
Yeah.
This
one, is, for me, it's kind of hard to rate it a little bit because I agree 100% with you. I'm not getting that cinnamon flavor, but I am getting the
Elijah Craig.
Elijah Craig.
Yep.
Super smooth, 14%. And I was correct. I don't taste any one of the 31 IBUs in this at all.
No, this is not.
No.
I don't know the bitterness part for
no.
This is not bitter.
No. So I still think it's very good. I'm going to go a 3.8.
Okay.
I'm going to go just a little, that one notch above the Mexican one.
Okay.
And again, if the Mexican one would have had a little more pepper heat, I'd have rated that over this one.
And you like the pecan above this one?
Oh, the pecan was my number one of the day. At this point, yes. Whatever your surprise is, I don't know. But of these 7, that pecan one was my top beer for the day so far.
So for me, where I struggle and where I am trying to justify my points, 14.1. So this is the highest ABV we've had today, but it does not taste like it. It does not even come remotely close. So for me, I've got to give it a little bump just because of that. But the flavors, again, I don't know how long this was aged. I don't know. I mean, that would help me out a little bit, but I mean, it's still super smooth. I mean, like, when we finish, I might have to have another.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, we can do that. We still got half a can roughly.
Yeah. Another hit off I like this one. I think this is my favorite today. I'm going to go 4.1. I like that one.
Really? Wow.
I like this one.
Okay. Well, you look at our scores, we're only 0.3 of a point apart.
Right. We're not far off. But no. For me, am I getting all the flavors? No. And I know that we've talked about that, but it's the highest ABV. And if you put a towel on these, I don't think you could, these last 3, I mean, they're really, really good.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I just thought of this, Jim. We have to, in an upcoming episode, we have to go through last year and come up with our beer of the year.
And we drink all those beers again?
No. Oh. But remember, we kept taking some notes on who beers we wanted to put in the running for the beer of the year.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Our first year was by far the Pappy Van Winkle Central Waters.
Yep.
So in an upcoming episode, we will tell you the finalists that we had for this last year.
Yep.
And then name one. And now I honestly think that you could put the Pecan one or this last one, we could put that on our early list for this year to be considered.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah. Because, like I said, all three of these were extremely good.
Yes.
If the Mexican hot chocolate would have had more pepper, that would have been up there too.
Yes.
But I think the first one and this last one, I think we could have, where we could at least consider them. You know,
for sure, without a doubt.
So I will add those to the notes there. But yeah, we will have that in an upcoming episode for 2024 to see what our beer of the year was.
Nice.
Awesome.
So I'm going to have to say that you've been a very good. You haven't dogged me out.
No.
You did very good on the questions.
Well,
and your beers did not taste like Shinerbach.
I was going to say, I didn't get them right, but yes. And I did better on the beers, yes.
So I'll give you all three as bonus points.
So I'm only minus how many points this time?
You're in the positive.
Oh, really?
So since you're in the positive,
you're bringing.
I'm bringing out a beer for you.
We're going to do fresh glasses?
Yep, we can do that. So we're going to be doing.
And this is a pint,
Angry Chair.
A pint. Well, this is Untappd Arts and Angry Chair Brewing. And this is a barrel aged as well.
Barrel aged pastry stout with natural and artificial flavors.
Does that help? Barrel aged coconut s'mores pastry stout. Okay, I just saw a number on the side of this can.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of, let me
give you
details.
You give the details and then the number.
All right, here we go. So the Stout Squad.
Okay. How do we get in that? We want to get in that club.
CC, the Angry Chair Brewing, rides again for another decadently delicious dessert you can drink. Cacao nibs.
Cacao!
Toasted coconut flakes.
Okay.
And brown sugar.
Ooh, it's going to be sweeter.
Meld with notes of marshmallow and graham cracker to craft a gooey liquid to take on a campfire favorite.
We've had some other s'more that have been really good flavor, so I'm excited. Okay.
Aged for 2 full years in bourbon barrels.
Does it say which ones or no?
No.
Okay, but still 2 years.
This behemoth of a brews oaky, smoothest, belies its formidable 17% ABV.
Hang on, what was that? 7%?
17%. 17%.
Wow.
Skip your sticky fingers
okay.
and sip your s'mores instead. Oh, so instead of doing this.
Yeah, instead of eating a s'more, why don't you just drink it?
Well,
17%.
How does that kind of tantillate your taste buds there, buddy?
Yeah, that definitely has my attention. Because it was only
I think we've done some other Untappd art, but not many barrel-aged ones.
No, and I was going to say, remember, it wasn't that long ago we did an entire episode on Untappd Arts, and they were very good, but none of them were barrel-aged.
Right.
And they weren't 17%. But they were all double-digit, but they weren't 17%.
You are correct.
All right, well.
So we are going to find out. I thought, does it match with what we're doing? I thought maybe it would. We had a couple that were coconut and a couple...
Hey. Don't explain it. It matches.
Oh.
It's barrel aged.
Is it all right?
That's all it had to be.
All right, well.
Ooh, that's definitely dark.
Because you brought all the first 7, so I had this one, so I wanted to make sure that I was part of the equation to help out with this episode.
Yes, I appreciate that, because this definitely has my interest peaked. Ooh, it smells,
you can smell it.
You can smell. I mean, it smells
like a s'more.
A sweet smell, like a s'more, yeah.
Wow.
S'more dipped in alcohol. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
And I don't know what kind of barrel this was.
Okay, but it was 2 years, though.
2 years.
That's going back to Dangerous Man. Guys, age them longer, man.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Would love to get another. I'd love to buy another 4-pack next year. Well, I'd like to get one free, but I'd love to buy one where it's aged almost 2 years.
Right.
16.
And we'll find out how good 2 years age.
Yes, and we will have another episode just kind of like this.
Yes.
Dedicated to, let you know what we think.
Right.
All right.
Here we go.
That is That is sweet. I mean, it's not over the top, like hurt your teeth sweet.
Like is that a marshmallow?
Oh yeah, it's got a marshmallow flavor.
Wow.
would I say it tastes just like a s'more? No, but I can taste the marshmallow. I can
the
taste
marshmallow's really.
What else was?
Is it graham cracker?
Graham cracker. I get that. I'm sorry, Jim. What was the other?
Let me just double.
Because there was another flavor, wasn't there? That. Boy, I totally get
the cacao nibs.
Yeah, you get that. But
coconut flakes.
There you go.
Brown sugar.
Oh yeah, you get all those flavors.
I mean, and you can I think I can differentiate them.
Boy, I tell you what, that marshmallow stands out, doesn't it? I'm just sitting there going, I just ate a marshmallow.
That is
good.
And this has got to be a collaboration, right? Angry Chair
and Untappd Arts.
Okay.
We have to do some looking to see where Angry Chair is. You know what I mean? And look them up to see, because we've seen other ones with them, with Untappd Arts that are with Angry Chair.
Right.
So we got to do a little more research on that. But boy, this is good.
And what did you say the ABV was?
Fine. I brought 7 beers. You had to try and up me. Okay, fine. 17%.
Yeah. This one is good.
Boy, you know, if you didn't tell me the ABV, I don't even know if I'd guess 10.
I know.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's very mellow. I wouldn't have said a 10 ABV and 17. If you drink this whole can, it'll mess you up.
You think so?
I think it would. Even us, I think it'd mess us up. Yeah. But boy, this is good flavor. We may have 3 of them that are in there running right now for beer of the year for this year good. Already. This is very good.
Wow. This is. And I wish I could give more adjectives.
I'm trying to figure. I don't think we've had many from Untappd Arts that are barrel aged.
No, I believe
that's the weird part.
I believe they had like a release in the spring.
Okay,
because this was like an early spring one.
Okay,
and I think somehow I just found this one again.
Yep.
But this has probably been out maybe 9 months. But I
still,
think it was all sold out right away from the brewery only. It wasn't in like out just for distribution like on Black Friday. So
now, ladies and gentlemen, that the listeners, Jim, are probably thinking, well, how can that that beer is 9 months old is probably bad. No, see, when you get into like barrel aged beers and like that, they'll last like 5+ years if you store them
correctly.
Because like myself, I keep them in the basement where it's cool, and I think you do for the most part too. The same thing, and they'll last for a good 5 years or better. Right. And they just keep getting better too.
Smoother.
Yes. So, don't be afraid. Would I store IPAs and Pilsners no, because they're going to go bad fairly quickly, so to speak. But
if they got chunks in them,
just don't worry about it. It's no big deal. But barrel aged ones, you can keep them for quite a while. So I have no issue with a beer being 8-9 months old. I don't have a barrel aged. If it's 5 years old, I don't really have an issue with it. You know.
So what are you thinking on score here?
Oh my gosh, this is good. I'm gonna go like a 4.1. I'm gonna go above the.
You like this
Wolf.
one?
I like this one. This is every flavor that it mentioned. I can taste.
Right. And is it burning?
No, and 17%. There's no way I would have imagined it.
I can see you drinking a couple of these.
Yep, and then I'm gonna take a little nappy.
I think.
What do you think?
I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go a 4.3. I like this one. This is like, wow.
Boy, this is amazing.
I mean, there's not many beers you can like say, I think I actually tasted a marshmallow.
No. And not only do you taste it, but it lingers.
Right.
You sit there and all of a sudden, I still taste marshmallow.
And a good taste.
Yes. That is amazing. Good job, Jim. You finally brought a good beer.
I didn't bring a Shiner box.
Just joking. Yeah, no, this is good. Yeah,
so let's. Well, we got still some beer in our glass.
So overall, my number 1 beer was this last one. That was amazing. My number 2 was again the Pecan from the Wolf, the
Three Sheeps. Yep.
3 Sheeps. Yeah, the Wolf Pecan. Those two, and honestly, any of the 3 Sheeps. The Wolf variants that we had, they were all very good.
Okay, yep.
My recommendation to Dangerous Man is just keep aging.
Yep.
I think you're on the right path. I think, like I said, this is the first time I've ever heard that they had barrel-aged beers.
Right.
But not that I, keep tabs on them or anything like that. But this is the first time I've ever found them anywhere. So I would say keep aging. Yes. And I think they're going to get better and better.
Spot on. Yes.
But I do think any of these last 4, we could put all 4, honestly, but 3 of the 4 for sure on our list for possible, potential beer of the years for 2025 already, because They were amazing. The Dangerous Man, if you find that 4-pack, buy it. I think, especially if you haven't really got that deep into barrel-aged beers yet, I think they're very mellow.
Right.
I think the flavors aren't going to chase anybody off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're okay representations of
Correct.
of the style.
Because even 2 years ago when we started and we named the Pappy Van Winkle from Central Waters as our beer of the year that year, I think that one, if people weren't up on barrel-aged beers or didn't really care for barrel-aged beer, that one would scare them off.
Right.
Just because there was a lot of flavor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where our wives were with us on that episode and they liked it, and they're not barrel-aged beer people really either.
They don't even know who Pappy is.
No. But yeah, Dangerous Man is on their way if they keep doing it.
Right.
Three Sheeps knows what they're doing, and I'm going to have to buy a can of each of those again because those are amazing.
Yes.
And this one from Untitled Arts is crazy good.
All right. And I think my only change to everything you said, I like the Untappd Arts. Totally surprised. Because we've had several of theirs and they've all been good, very good. But when they made it barrel aged, it took it to the next, not even one step up.
Well, this is, I'm sure it's the first barrel aged one we've had from them.
It took it to a whole nother level. And they did it right.
I hope they keep doing it.
Yeah, it wasn't like, well, we're going to put our toe in the water. They ships in, we're going to do it. We're going to collaborate with somebody else. And they did it.
And they aged it
fantastic
for
job.
2 years.
Right. Really, really
You know what I mean? And that's the hard part. Because with Dangerous Man, I don't know. And again, I don't know how much they aged.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of breweries can't sit on a beer for 2 years. The Pappy Van Winkle was what? Almost 6 years.
Right.
So it's like, okay.
Because that's money that the brewer cannot tap into. It's just sitting there.
Even though a forward-thinking brewer is going, we can sell that for a lot of money.
Right. The interest is growing on
Yes. Yeah, so you can just like, cha-ching, 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 every minute that goes by.
Yes.
But yeah.
And so my favorite, we're totally in agreement. I like the Untappd Art. That was way up there. And I thought it would be a good one part of this tasting. Because I hadn't tried it, so I didn't know. But I think it fit right in really good.
100%.
My number 2, I liked all of the Wolf.
Yep.
My separation is between a 4.1 and 3.9.
Yeah.
Two hundredths of a, or two tenths of a point between number 1 and number 3 for the Wolf. The only one that stood out to me was Elijah Craig. It just had a little bit better, smoother bourbon flavor.
Okay.
I liked. I was like, so good.
Yeah, the pecan one I like just a tick better, just because the little bit of that sweetness that was there really worked well for me. But yeah, I agree that Elijah Craig one was my next one, was very good as well.
And I think the Dangerous Man, I'm glad we tried them. I've never my first time trying them.
Yep.
So I don't have an opinion, good, bad, indifferent. Totally, I've tried to be objective taster, but I think they all tasted the same, unfortunately. And when you look at the cans, the only thing different about all 4 cans is a stripe color.
Yeah, and the name on the bottom.
Right. And so in reality, that's what the insides are like too. They're all very similar.
And not to cut you off, I think you nailed it when you said they're not aging it long enough yet.
Right.
And I think because of that, the base beer is overpowering the barrels. Yes. If they'd have waited for 2 years, I think I think going back, we'd have saw very distinct differences in all of these.
In all the flavors.
Yes, exactly.
And again, we are not brewmasters, but we're the person who's buying the beer to taste it. So I think, somehow, and I don't know how to convey it the proper way, but the brewmasters, if it tastes good, doesn't always mean that the person that's drinking it's going to like it. You want to make sure that the person that's drinking it likes it to come back for more.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm saying that right or not.
No, you're nailing it. I know exactly what you're saying.
Because, we had beers, like the ground fish.
Yeah.
Which brewmaster goes, boy, that's the flavor I was looking for.
Get that? I think he went, bottle and get it out of here because I don't want this in my tanks anymore. Yeah.
So it's like, if it doesn't quite taste right, to me, I would say, all right, let's wait a little bit. Yep. Let's not push something out that may not be 100% where you want it to be.
And I think that is way more important when it comes to barrel-aged beers. you can't rush that stuff.
Oh, you're spot on, buddy.
You know what I mean? And
let the flavors come through.
Exactly. And like I said, I think Dangerous Man, if they keep doing it, they're on the right path.
Yes.
But it's got to be longer because Three Sheeps, we don't know how long they ate, but I'll guarantee it was longer. Yes. And this was 2 years.
Right. They told us that.
And like I said, then when you get into Bourbon County, some of those are a long time. And Central Waters, I mean, they're up to 5 years.
Right.
Getting close to 6 years on some stuff. But that's, again, I totally understand why a brewer would be like, I can't have that sitting here anymore. I need to get that beer out and make that money. I totally get it. But when you do that, then you get kind of what we have here.
Where's your balance?
Correct. Where your flavor, this could have been tremendous.
Yes.
The Dangerous Man could have been tremendous, but I think they just rush it, and I think you nailed it with that. I was trying to go, okay, yeah, it's more on the base of the beer. No, I think you nailed it. It just wasn't aged long enough. So I hope they keep doing it, and we'll try it again.
All right. So I think for a wrap up, for a summary for me, I just want to say thank you. We had a very great 2024. I hope the listeners out there enjoy what we're doing. I enjoy being with you. I enjoy drinking beer with you. I don't think, like, now we're in the wintertime, so there's not much else we can do outside. So anytime we can drink craft beer and tell people about it, I enjoy doing that. So I'm looking forward to 2025. And I just hope that the success we had in 2024 carries forward, and we have just as many good beers in the future as what we had in the past.
Yep.
I'll turn to you.
And this episode is our 94th episode.
Okay.
We just started our third season. When we get to our 100th episode, we're going to have a pretty good one.
Little bit shindig.
Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a shindig. So we'll figure that out, and it'll be barrel aged. I'm not gonna lie, people. We're gonna have it barrel aged because we got a lot of barrel aged beers, but we have some amazing barrel aged beers that we can do. So that'll be coming up. We just, a month and a half yet.
Got to keep listening.
Keep listening.
And keep sending us questions.
Yes, keep sending us questions. We're definitely, we're still, Susie and I are working on trying to get a website going.
Oh.
We're going to start having some apparel.
Okay.
Where people can buy with the Northwoods Beer Guy logo on it, apparel, some other stuff in there.
Right.
It's been a rough road on that thing just to figure out who you can work with and things like that. But we're kind of narrowing it down.
Perfect.
And so we got some cool stuff coming. We'll let you know. And when we announce that, we'll probably have maybe some giveaways or something. We'll figure that out. So anyway, Jim, thank you so much for struggling through these low ABV beers. I know you don't like them, and you really don't care for. Well, who am I lying? They were all good beers. So.
Yeah, they were good. Yes.
Awesome. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. And again, next week we'll have some more barrel aged beers. Being barrel aged January,
yes.
Terrible, but we have to
suffer through it.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, thank you so much. And like we always say, we hope your campfire is always warm
and your beers are always cold.
See ya.
Bye. Take it easy.
Thank you for listening to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. If you have a question, a comment, or a beer you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us a message at northwoodsbeerguy@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're on Untappd, look up Northwoods Beer Guy and send a friend request. Until next week, I hope all your campfires are warm and all your beer is cold.